Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. Today's video is going to be my July wrap up. So I read a total of 39 books in July, which is so crazy. I don't know how I did that. I literally don't know how I read so many books. Like 39 books. 39. But to be fair, like 10 of them were technically like novellas where they were like 50 pages or so, but still, like 39 books in total, it's a lot. I didn't read any physical books, which I am bummed about, but I still read a lot, so it doesn't really matter. So yeah, I'm gonna jump straight into the wrap up because I have so many books to talk about. I will first talk about a book that I read at the end of June that I did not include in my June wrap up. So I'll talk about that one first, and then we'll get into all of the books I read in July. I read One Little Lie by Whitney Barbetti, literally like the last day of June. I did include it in my June wrap up, and this I gave 3 out of 5 stars. It was cute, but it definitely lacked for me. This is a hate to love fake dating, and it follows Hollis and Adam, who have kind of both liked each other since high school. So there was an incident in high school that made Adam really hate Hollis, and now flash forward to like college, everybody is pestering Hollis about dating and having a boyfriend, and she makes up this fake boyfriend, and she basically pretends that it's Adam, and Adam's in town, and so she makes him play along, and they both kind of still hate each other. I just didn't really connect with the characters, and I found the timeline a little confusing because I think it started off in high school and then it went on to college, but the timeline just really was confusing to me, unless I just like fully wasn't reading it properly. But I do feel like the timeline was very confusing on when they were in high school and then when they were in college, and like I think there were sometimes flashbacks, but it was kind of confusing for me, so I gave it 3 stars. It was okay. Now on to all of the books I read in July. So the first one was Switch Bitter by Sarah Nye, and this was actually released as an audiobook on Read Me Romance, the podcast. So it was written to be like really short, and I gave it 3 stars. It was way too short. I wanted so much more from it. Honestly, if it would have been longer, like if it actually would have been like 50 pages more, I probably would have given it 5 stars because I actually really loved it and I loved the characters, but it was just so short that I couldn't give it more. This follows Piper, who has had a crush on Ryder forever, and there's like this auction to raise money, and I guess you like can bid on a guy and have like a date with him, and Piper's best friend bids on Ryder for Piper, and things kind of take off from there. Super cute. I wish it was so much longer. Then I read Plan B by Jenna Aston. This is book 2 in the Best Laid Plans companion series, I guess. And this I also gave 3 out of 5 stars. I liked it. It had one of my favorite tropes and plots, but I just really didn't like the female character. That's my problem with some of Jana's books, is that the character's inner monologue is sometimes way too long, and I just don't care. It was funny, it was cute, but the character just said way too much all of the time. So this follows Daisy, who has a one-night stand with Kyle Kingston, and she ends up pregnant, and she is on the search for him. She's trying to contact him and find him. He comes from a very successful family, and he's the heir to this retail company, and he kind of proposes that they have a marriage of convenience as well, but it also benefits because she's pregnant, and it's pretty cute, pretty funny, but just not my favorite by this author. And then I binged an entire series. So I read the Planet Barbarians series by Ruby Dixon. The first book is Planet Barbarians. I had read I think a couple of books by Ruby Dixon before and didn't really like them, but Jessica from Peace Love Books talked about this series in her, I think it was her June wrap up the first time I heard about it, and she had read like the first couple of books and loved them, so I figured I would give them a shot, and I binged the entire series. I read all of them. in the month of July. There's like 17 books. I loved this series. It was so fun. It was so good. I'll just tell you what the first book is about, and then I'll kind of go through all of them and give my ratings and stuff. This series is a alien sci-fi paranormal romance, and it does seem weird to read like a sci-fi alien romance, but it honestly just feels like reading a paranormal romance. Like, there's nothing really that weird about it. It basically follows these women who get kidnapped by aliens, and during one of the transportations, their ship crashes and lands on this ice planet. And the first book follows Georgie, who ends up meeting one of the living species on the planet, and things take off from there. This series is super fun. It's funny, it's cute, it's sexy, it's so good. I love it and I am addicted to it. It's just such a fun series, and if you're looking for kind of something paranormal to read, but definitely different, I highly recommend it. It's super fun, and the books aren't really that long, so you definitely can breeze through them. I mean, I read like all of them in the month. They were just so fun and I absolutely loved it. I gave the first book 4 stars. Barbarian Alien is book number 2, and I gave this one 4 to 5 stars. Barbarian Lover, 4 to 5 stars. And then I read, this is technically 1.5, but I read Ice Planet Honeymoon, and I gave this 4 to 5 stars. Then book 4 is Barbarian Mine, which I gave 4 to 5 stars. Ice Planet Holiday, which is book 4.5, and I gave this 3 out of 5 stars. Barbarian's Prize, 4 out of 5 stars. Barbarian's Mate, 4 out of 5 stars. Then we have Having the Barbarian's Baby, which is book 6.5, and I gave this 3 out of 5 stars. And then we have Ice Babies, which is 6.6 in the series, and I gave this one 3 out of 5 stars. Barbarian's Touch, which is book 7, I gave 4 out of 5 stars. Then we have another novella in the series, which is Calm, and this is book 7.5, and this I gave 3 out of 5 stars. Then book 8 is Barbarian's Taming, which I gave 4 out of 5 stars. Then we have another little novella in the series, which is called Aftershocks, and this is book 8.5, and this I gave 3 out of 5 stars. Barbarian's Heart, which is book 9, and this I gave 4 out of 5 stars. Barbarian's Hope, book 10, I gave 3 out of 5 stars. Barbarian's Choice, I gave 3 out of 5 stars. Barbarian's Redemption, I gave 4 out of 5 stars. Book 13 is Barbarian's Lady, which I gave 3 out of 5 stars. Barbarian's Rescue, I gave 4 out of 5 stars. Barbarian's Tease, I gave 3 out of 5 stars. The Barbarians Before Christmas, which is book 15.5, I gave 3 out of 5 stars. Barbarians Beloved, I gave 4 out of 5 stars. Barbarians Valentine, which is another novella, this is 16.6, and I gave this 4 out of 5 stars. And then the final book was Barbarian Seduction, and this I gave 4 out of 5 stars. I loved this series. I couldn't stop reading. I wanted to finish the entire series, and I just really loved it, and I hope that Ruby Dixon writes more with this particular series. There is a spin-off series, which I'll talk about because I did read that as well, but I hope she continues to write more about these specific characters because I did really love them. Again, fantastic, really quick, really fun. I highly recommend. And then I ended up reading Trapping Her by Aurora Rose Reynolds. This is another short story that was written for the Read Me Romance podcast. This I gave 3 out of 5 stars. It is Aurora's first paranormal romance, and even though I gave it 3 stars, I still really liked it. I really want to see more paranormal romance from Aurora Rose Reynolds because I think she could write a fantastic full-length novel. I loved the premise of this one. It was just really short, and I feel like I couldn't give it more than that. And I hope she continues to write more paranormal romance. This follows a vampire named Cameron who, on the night of his wedding, his bride is murdered, and years later there's this woman, Isabel, who walks into the front doors of his castle, and she looks identical to his bride, and all of these feelings bubble up again, and there's some secrets. It's really cool. It was a really fun vampire romance. books. Then I went ahead and read the Ice Home series by Ruby Dixon. This is actually a spin-off of the Ice Planet Barbarian series. I do recommend reading the Ice Planet Barbarian series first and then reading this one because everything will just make a lot more sense. This is a spin-off, so it does feature a lot of the same characters but also new characters. So I feel like it is kind of spoilerish for the Ice Planet Barbarian series, but basically another spaceship lands on the ice planet. Again, there's a bunch of women and some men that were abducted, and now they're living on this ice planet. And the first book, Lauren's Barbarian, follows Lauren, who is one of the new humans on this planet. And there's something that happens where her and another girl get magically washed up to this island where it's like totally the opposite of the ice planet, but it's on the same planet, but it's like a tropical side, and they're very confused. They're kind of lost, and she runs into this other tribe and who live on the island. She's trying to find their way back to the ice planet, and she is intrigued by this tropical place. I'm not explaining it very well, but if you read the Ice Planet Barbarian series, like, it's very similar to that. It's just kind of takes place in a new setting, but then they go back. So again, this series is really fun. The first book I gave 3 out of 5 stars. Book 2, Veronica's Dragon, I gave 4 out of 5 stars. Book 3, Willa's Beast, I gave 4 out of 5 stars. Angie's Gladiator, I gave 3 out of 5 stars. Hannah's Hero, I gave 3 out of 5 stars. And Debbie's Distraction, I also gave 3 out of 5 stars. I like this series. It's not as good as the Ice Planet Barbarian series in my opinion. Clearly, I only gave 2 books 4 stars in the series, but still really fun. It has the same vibes and feelings as the Ice Planet Barbarian series, and you do get to see some of the same characters, and overall, really fun. It definitely introduces you to other species, so not just the aliens but different ones. Clearly there's like a shapeshifter in here, so it is really fun and a little bit different, but still similar to her other series. Catching Him by Aurora Rose Reynolds. This I received as an ARC from NetGalley, and this actually comes out August 27th, I do believe. This I gave 3 out of 5 stars. I liked it, but it felt like something Aurora has already written, and it just felt like way too similar to her other books. Nothing super new and special in my opinion. And this follows Leah, who isn't really interested in playing games, and she's not really interested in dating a bunch of people and trying to figure out men. She wants to find like the right guy. She suddenly has a new neighbor, Tyler, and they quickly become friends because of an incident where her cat ends up in his house, and she tries to break into his house to get her cat. It's kind of like friends to lovers. It's pretty adorable, but it didn't feel like anything new from this author. Then I read the Heartache Duet by Jade McLean. So the first book is Heartache and Hope, which I gave 4 out of 5 stars. And this is a new adult / young adult high school romance. It follows Connor, who moves to this new town for basketball. He's hoping to have like a basketball scholarship or whatever after high school, so that's why he moved to this particular high school. And he meets Ava, who is struggling. She basically has to take care of her mom. Her mom is dealing with a lot. She was in the war, so she's struggling with PTSD, and Ava is trying to take care of her and do it all on her own with the help of her stepbrother, and Connor wants to save her. It's really emotional, it's really heavy, but yet super cute and adorable. Jade McLean always writes really heavy romances, and I love her books. The second book is First and Forever, which I also gave 4 out of 5 stars. And then I read The Locker Room by Megan Quinn, which I gave 4 out of 5 stars. I really liked this. I honestly would have given it 5 stars if it weren't for the ending. I don't know why I haven't read more from Megan Quinn, because she did write a book with Sarah Nye that I really loved, which I think was like Sincerely Yours or something like that. I really enjoyed that book, so I don't know why I haven't read more by Megan Quinn, but I feel like everybody's been talking about this book lately, so I decided to give it a try. This book follows a baseball team, and they have this locker room that is supposedly like this good luck locker room where any girl that you take there, if you're serious about her, you'll end up getting married and like having a great relationship. And so a lot of girls try to make it to that locker room, and Emery is dragged to this party by her friends, and that's where she meets Knox, who is on the baseball team, and she basically just kind of brushes him off, and they have like a really weird night together. She's not interested in starting up a relationship. She was kind of burned by her ex-boyfriend, and Knox is just really determined to want to be with her, and he thinks that she's worth it, and it's just a lot of back and forth. It's super cute, super funny. I really loved the characters. I honestly would have given this 5 stars if it weren't for the ending, because I just feel like, not the ending, but it took them like several years to reunite, and I hated that. If it was like a couple of years and not how long it was, I would have liked it so much more. But because it took them so long to actually like reunite, I didn't really like that aspect. So yeah, but the ending, like the actual ending, was super cute and adorable. Yeah, I highly recommend this new adult sports romance, college romance. It was super cute. I really, really loved it. And I can't wait to read more from Megan Quinn. And then the last book I read in July was Until December by Aurora Rose Reynolds. This is book 8 in the Until Her/Until Him series. And this I gave 4 to 5 stars. I really loved this as well. This was super cute. It made me tear up a little bit. So this follows Gareth and December, who meet at December's cousin's wedding, and they're like immediately drawn to each other, and they kind of have like this back and forth. Gareth is a single dad, and he's trying to raise his boys and work 2 jobs, but he really wants to try to get to know December, and December is just really hesitant. She is scared of all of the hurdles, and it's just super cute. I really loved it. I loved the characters. Such a solid romance. Definitely one of my favorite books by Aurora. It was so cute. Like I actually like teared up a little bit. There was some really good heartstring moments. I just overall really loved it. So that is it for my July wrap up. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Let me know how many books you read in the month of July. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure to give this video a like, subscribe, follow me on all my other social media, and I will see you guys in my next one. Bye.